Three animals seem to attack, and all three can mislead you. A bee flies at your face, an opossum shows teeth, and a camel spider runs at your feet. The useful question is not whether it moved towards you, it is what the behavior stays attached to. With the bee, watch the place it keeps returning to. With the opossum, watch what happens when pressure increases or an exit opens. With the camel spider, watch the heat, light, and shade around you. Direction alone does not reveal intent, and that last case needs the most caution. Start with the bee hovering beside the house. An eastern carpenter bee may hold roughly the same patch around a nest area, flowers, wooden rails, an eave, or another obvious landmark. The important clue is not simply that it comes toward you. Watch where it goes afterward. A territorial male tends to stay connected to that patch of space. He hovers there, leaves it to intercept something moving through, then remains associated with the same area. And the strongest evidence comes from what those males intercept. Field observations have recorded them flying toward other carpenter bees, unrelated insects, birds, and even airborne objects. The response is broader than one person standing near the porch. That changes the meaning of a bee suddenly coming at your face. You may have walked through its territorial patrol. Your movement can matter too. Current guidance on carpenter bees describes males approaching people who move rapidly or wave their hands near nesting areas. So swatting wildly adds exactly the kind of rapid hand movement you should stop near a nesting area. There is an important boundary here. Male carpenter bees cannot sting. Female carpenter bees can. That does not mean you should lean toward a large bee and inspect it closely enough to settle the question. If you are not certain what you are looking at, distance is still the useful choice. And territorial does not mean imaginary aggression. Male carpenter bees really do defend areas from other males. The correction is narrower. A close approach towards you does not prove that you have been singled out for a sting. The practical response is pleasantly uneventful. Stop waving at it. Move away from the area it keeps patrolling. Do not handle it. Now change the scene. Instead of wings beside an eave, imagine an opossum near a porch, garage, fence, or bin. You get too close. Its mouth opens. Its teeth are on display, and none of them improve the mood. Then comes the hiss. This looks more deliberate than the bee because the teeth are right there in front of you. But wildlife authorities describe that open mouth, hissing, growling, and related behavior as part of the opossum's defensive display when it is threatened or cornered. That word matters. Defensive. The animal may be trying to make an approaching threat stop. That does not make the teeth decorative. An agitated or cornered opossum can bite. Showing teeth and actually biting are not the same behavior. So instead of concentrating on the mouth, look at the situation around the animal. Did someone move closer? Is a dog pressing toward it? Is it backed against a fence or wall? Has its route away been blocked? Those details tell you more than the expression on its face. The safe question is not, will it bite me? You do not need to discover that. The useful question is whether you are still increasing the pressure. If the opossum is being crowded, stop crowding it. Give it space. Keep an exit available instead of trapping it between you and a barrier. This is also why calling the behavior fear needs a little care. You can see an open mouth. You can hear a hiss. You can see whether the animal is boxed in. Those are observations. You cannot look inside the animal and measure exactly what it is feeling. So defensive display is the better label. It tells you what the behavior is doing without pretending we can read the animal's private thoughts. And the decision stays simple. The teeth are a reason to back off, not a reason to strike first, and not an invitation to move closer for a better look. The third encounter is the strangest because there may be no fixed patrol area and no warning display, just speed. A camel spider is on exposed ground in strong sun. It has large jaws, it moves fast, and suddenly it runs towards your feet. That combination is very easy to interpret as pursuit. But now the environment matters more than the direction. Research on a diurnal camel spider has documented behavior connected to very hot ground conditions. Other published natural history work describes diurnal camel spiders using shade to avoid overheating. So picture the scene again. Hot, exposed ground. A patch of shade from a rock, a tent, or your own body. The animal runs into that darker patch. Now you move. Your shadow moves with you. A camel spider trying to remain in shade can therefore create a very convincing impression that it is following the person casting it. That explanation is credible. It also needs a stronger warning label than the first two cases. The evidence does not establish that every camel spider running toward a person is definitely following that person's shadow. Camel spider behavior is still poorly documented across the group. The famous shadow explanation fits known heat and shade behavior, but it should not become another comforting absolute. There is another useful clue from primary observations. One studied species made rapid escape runs in response to threats, including humans. So speed itself is not an attack detector either. A camel spider moving fast tells you that a camel spider is moving fast. You still need the surrounding situation before you decide what that movement means. If the ground is exposed and hot, and the animal's path lines up with shade or cover, shade seeking becomes a reasonable explanation. Reasonable is the important word. You do not need to test it by dancing around in the sun to see whether the animal follows your shadow. Give it room to reach cover, and do not pick it up. Camel spiders have large jaws, and a handled animal can give a painful mechanical bite. A possible shade-seeking explanation does not mean safe to touch. Now put the three encounters beside each other. The bee keeps returning to a place. The opossum reacts to pressure. The camel spider may be responding to the environment around it. Place, pressure, environment. Those three words are more useful than trying to decide whether an unfamiliar animal looks angry. With the bee, watch the patch of space it keeps patrolling. With the opossum, notice whether your approach or a blocked escape route is increasing the defensive display. With the camel spider, notice the heat, the exposed ground, and where the nearest shade or cover actually is. You are not trying to become an animal behavior expert in 30 seconds. You are trying to avoid turning one frightening observation into a conclusion that the evidence does not support, and that changes the next move. Do not stand there conducting experiments. Do not wave at the bee to see whether it comes back. Do not crowd the opossum to see whether it retreats. Do not step around a camel spider to prove that it likes your shadow. The useful response is lower contact than that. Give the carpenter bee's patrol area some room. Stop increasing pressure on the opossum and leave it a route away. Give the camel spider space to reach cover without handling it. If you cannot confidently identify the animal, if a bite or sting has already happened, or if allergy, venom, wildlife law, or safe removal is uncertain, that is the point to use qualified local help rather than extending a backyard guess. These clues change how you interpret the encounter. They do not make contact safe. If calm, practical creature decisions like this are useful to you, subscribe for more. Then keep the little checklist simple. Place, pressure, environment. The deeper question is not, is this animal coming for me? It is, what is the behavior staying attached to?